Hello guys, hope you're doing well. In our last video, we talked about the chain rule, and we know that if y is equal f of g of x, so y prime is equal f prime of g of x times g prime of x. Means differentiate the outside and keep the inside the same, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside. Okay, now let's use it to find the derivative of this function. In this function, whole to the nth power is the outside function and u is the inside function. So differentiate the outside. If u is just a variable, so we have y prime is equal n times u to the power of n minus 1. And according to the chain rule, multiply by the derivative of the inside function times u prime. Okay, so to differentiate u to the nth power, you bring exponent down, then subtract 1 from the exponent, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside function, means u prime. Okay, for example, if y is equal x to the nth power, so y prime is equal, first bring exponent down, n times subtract 1 from the exponent, x to the power of n minus 1, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside function. So the derivative of x is equal 1. So y prime is equal n times x to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so u to the nth power is general form, and x to the nth power is a special case where the inside function is just x. Okay, for example, if y is equal 3x squared plus 1 whole cubed, so the derivative of y means y prime is equal, first bring the exponent down, 3 times subtract 1 from the exponent, 3x squared plus 1 whole squared, 3 minus 1, times the derivative of the inside function, means 3x squared plus 1 prime. Okay, so y prime is equal 3 times 3x squared plus 1 whole squared times the derivative of 3x squared is equal 3 times 2x. 3 times the derivative of x squared is 2x, and the derivative of 1 is nothing. Okay, so here is 6x times 3 is equal, y prime is equal 3 times 6x is equal 18x times 3x squared plus 1 whole squared. Number 2, if y is equal x cubed plus x squared plus 1 to the 4th power, so y prime is equal, first bring the exponent down, 4 times subtract 1 from the exponent, means x cubed plus x squared plus 1 whole cubed, 4 minus 1. Okay, times the derivative of the inside function, means x cubed plus x squared plus 1 prime. So y prime is equal 4 times x cubed plus x squared plus 1 whole cube times the derivative of x cubed is equal 3 3x squared plus the derivative of x squared is 2x, and the derivative of 1 is nothing. Okay, so y prime is equal 4 times 3x squared plus 2x is equal 12x squared plus 8x times x cubed plus x squared plus 1 whole cubed. Okay? If y is equal x to the 5th power minus 2x plus 1 to the 6th power, so y prime is equal, first bring exponent down, 6 times subtract 1 from the exponent, x to the 5th power minus 2x plus 1 to the 5th power times the derivative of the inside function is equal x to the 5th power minus 2x plus 1 prime. So we have y prime is equal 6 times x to the 5th power minus 2x plus 1 to the 5th power times the derivative of x to the 5th power is equal 5x to the 4th power minus the derivative of 2x is 2, and the derivative of 1 is nothing. Okay? And finally, y prime is equal 6 times to this expression is equal 30x to the 4th power minus 12 times x to the 5th power minus 2x plus 1 to the 5th power. If sine squared of 3x, so to find the derivative of this expression, y is equal this expression, so y prime is equal, first bring the exponent down, 2 times subtract 1 from the exponent, sine of 3x times the derivative of the inside function. The inside function is sine of 3x. Sine of 3x prime. Okay? Inside function means this expression without exponent. Means sine of 3x. So y prime is equal 2 times sine of 3x times the derivative of sine of 3x is equal, sine is the outside function and 3x is the inside function, so the derivative of sine is cosine of 3x times the derivative of 3x is 3. We use the chain rule. Okay, so y prime is equal 2 times 3 is 6 times sine of 3x times cosine of 3x. And finally, we know that sine of 2 alpha is equal to sine of alpha times cosine of alpha. So we can see y prime is equal 6 is equal 3 times 2 and sine of 3x times cosine of 3x. So 2 sine of 3x times cosine of 3x according to this formula is sine of 6x. So y prime is equal 3 sine of 6x. If y is equal cosine cubed of 4x, so y prime is equal, first bring the exponent down, 3 times subtract 1 from the exponent, cosine squared of 4x times the derivative of the inside function, means cosine of 4x prime. Okay, so we have y prime is equal 3 cosine squared of 4x times the derivative of cosine 4x. We know that cosine is the outside function and 4x is the inside function. So the derivative of cosine is negative sine of 4x times the derivative of 4x is 4, and y prime is equal 3 times 4 is 12, and here is negative sign, so minus 12 sine of 4x times cosine squared of 4x. But don't worry, we will solve a lot of examples in the next video, so don't miss it, and see you soon.